Welcome everybody to my top 10 anime video. Today we're going to be going over my top 10 action/magic anime. I want to set some very loose rules since most fantasy shows could technically fall under this. Basically, magic just has to be a major part of the show, whether the characters use magic or the story is focused on magic. It just has to be a key point of the show. Kind of obvious, but you know, whatever.
私、夜寝るときいつも考えてる。シャオラン何してるかなって。私のことちょっとでも考えてくれてるかなって。考えてるよ。
Number 10, Tsubasa Chronicle. Tsubasa Chronicle is about Sauron and his childhood friend, the Princess Sakura. Some things happen and Sakura's memories take the form of feathers and are scattered across different dimensions. In an attempt to save her and her memories, Sauron travels to different dimensions with Sakura and some people they meet along the way in order to find the feathers. I'll be honest, I don't really like this show very much. There's some romance, but in the anime at least, it does not get very far at all. I don't really like the art style very much, the story is very slow, and the fights are just lackluster. At least until you get to Tokyo Revelations. The contrast between the two is astounding. The art is significantly better, the fights are more fluid, more badass, they're essentially just two different shows. So despite my dislike for the first two seasons, which to be fair, certain arcs I feel like are worth watching. Like they're not bad, they're just not great, most of them. But it's definitely worth watching to get to Tokyo Revelations, and there's also a movie set around the first season, I believe, and I'd give that a watch too. It's higher production quality and overall better than the first two seasons anyways. Oh. Number 9, Kaze no Stigma. The story is about Kazuma, a typical cool guy that has the ability to control the wind. 4 years after being kicked out of the Kannagi family for his inability to control fire, he returns to Japan. Right after he arrives, members of the Kannagi family are murdered, leading to the family suspecting Kazuma. Not wanting to be played, he helps his family find the true culprits, or at least that's the first 4 episodes. The rest of the show is made up of similarly short 4 to 5 episode mini arcs. The show's alright, there's not really much story, there's some small plot points, but for the most part it's just a new villain has appeared. And there really isn't much character development. Kazuma's younger brother grows a tad bit, but that's about all. There's also some romance, but the main love interest is a tsundere, so that never goes anywhere. And it will never go anywhere because the author sadly passed away, so what you see is pretty much what you get. That being said, still a decent show, and yeah.
いい加減にしろ。だって泣くなよ。ちょっとからかわれたぐらいで。あんたにはわかんないのよ。頭からバケツかぶらされたこのエルファ固有の文様刻印形式。威力レベル A。補正数値072。フレイヤーバースト。フレイヤーバースト。
Number 8, Densetsu no Yushiro no Densetsu, aka Legend of the Legendary Heroes. Alright, let's get this out of the way. Yes, it is a stupid name. Everyone thinks it's a stupid name. It's such a stupid name that you might have looked at the show and went, yeah, that's a stupid name, I'm not watching that. I did the same thing. I only watched it because I was running out of anime to watch on Netflix. But you know what? It's pretty damn good. The story is about Lute Reiner, a talented but lazy mage who only wants to nap. He possesses the Alpha Stigma, cursed eyes that allow him to analyze and use all types of magic. Magic is sort of regional based, where it's secret trade arts. Some bad things happen, some good things happen. His friend Sion becomes king and tasks Reiner and a badass swordswoman named Ferris to search for relics of legendary heroes in order to help the kingdom. Like I said before, pretty good show. Art is decent, the action is decent. There are some dark tones to it. Scenes where the Alpha Stigma takes over are one of the best parts of the entire show. Unfortunately, as is annoyingly common, this show does not have an ending, so reading the novel is the only way to get more.
なんだよお前どうした逆らうよお前の分子は砂となって消えるお前何をした神悪魔勇者化け物貴様らは何て呼ぶ
Number 7, Shingeki no Bahamut Genesis. Recently watched this, and I gotta say, I'm a fan. The story is about Favaro, a guy that meets a mysterious girl named Amira. Through some poor decisions, he ends up getting roped into taking her to a barren wasteland covered in ice called Helheim, aka Canada, to find her mom. Turns out she's half of the key to use to steal Bahamut, a giant as fuck overpowered dragon. There's a guy named Kaiser too. He's a character. So this is based off of a trading card game, but surprisingly, it's pretty good. The character designs are interesting. I mean, the MC has a red fro and the other character has a Elvis hair. The characters themselves are good, but can be kind of annoying. Favaro is kind of a douche. I understand he's a selfish and looks out for himself, but sometimes he's just too much of a douche. He does have a heart of gold though. And Kaiser is like a super white knight. He always takes people's word as fact, never doubts anyone, and Amira is basically an adult child. The story is pretty predictable, but again, it's based off of a card game. Some of the ways the magic is used in the show is actually really neat. They create a layer of spells, circles, fire catapults, and arrows into them to ignite them. There's a second season coming out in April with a different female lead, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully the characters from the first season are a major part. And it also has one of the best openings for me personally. I love it. It's fantastic.
嘘じゃないって。お前が俺のことを考えてくれているように、俺もお前のことを思っているんだ。
お兄様。
Number 6, Mahoka Koka no Retase, aka regular magical high school. Yay incest. The show is set in a world where magic has become a systematized technology. It follows Tatsuya and his sister Miyuki. They enroll in First High School, original name, which is segregated into two groups, the Weeds and the Blooms. But you can't tell which is better. His sister becomes a Bloom, and he becomes a Weed. Despite having a low practical score, he's pretty much a genius, which makes him an irregular at magical high school. Roll fucking credits. Incest thing wasn't a joke. There's a bit of sexual tension between the two. Mal has this listed as a romance genre, and I'm pretty sure it's all between him and Miyuki. But I mean, I ship him. Like I mentioned before, it's a technology, no wizards, no spells. It functions more like programming does in the real world. There's some bullshit backstory about an energy crisis, which makes me feel like this was written in 2008. But luckily the backstory has almost nothing to do with the show. The main character is an OP badass. He makes the best the school has to offer look like little bitches. But he's kind of slowed down by something that isn't that spoilery, but I won't say what. Number 5, Zero no Skyma. If you watch my top 10 harem video, then you know that this is one of my love-hate relationship shows. If not, well, I'll bitch about it in a second. The story is about Saito, who one day is transported to a different world when a noble girl attending Tristane Academy of Magic named Louise summons a familiar. Now he has to live with her as he tries to find his way back home. Alright, so I love this show, and I also absolutely hate this show. Louise is an abusive tsundere, and Saito is an idiot. Well, okay, the way I view it, it is Saito number 2 that is an idiot, and Saito number 1 is a badass. He goes from professing his undying love to Louise and is willing to die for her, and then goes ogling at some other girl's breast. It's a joke that is very, very overused. It's not funny, and it just leads to annoying situations that ruin great moments. But it all ends well, so at least it has that going for it. Aside from that, it's a good show. The world's interesting. I like how they put modern technology here and there, and some people think that it's like an ancient godly weapon. Saito is, again, a badass, and there are some funny moments and some touching ones, so give it a watch.
この断りに従うならば答えよ。誓いをここに。我は常世すべての善となる者。我は常世すべての悪を敷く者。
Number 4, the Fate series. Yes, all of them. There are several of them with OVAs and movies and whatnot. They all center more or less on the Holy Grail War, which isn't really a war at all. It's just some mages get together, summon a familiar, and kill each other. So basically it's King of the Kill with magic. Except for, of course, Fate Kaleid. That's more magical girls and lolly porn. Despite my simple explanation, the plots are actually pretty solid. They're full of backstabbing and tactical moves, except, again, for Fate Kaleid, which I also enjoy the plot, but it's very different. The fights are amazing in every show. They are fluid and badass. But the real selling point is the fucking amazing visuals. Amazing. Ufotable does arts for the Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night, and it is absolutely stunning. They're easily one of, if not the best looking anime out there. And Silverlink, which handles Fate Kaleid, while not on the same level, still looks pretty damn good. It's kind of hard to talk about the entire series, but they're great. They're just all fantastic. All of them are worth a watch. Unless you're on the lollies, then I guess avoid Fate Kaleid. The watch order can be kind of confusing. Apparently you're not supposed to watch Fate Zero first like I did. So I'll leave a link down in the description below to a thread that will help you figure out which order to watch them in.
Oh, 勝ち目がないから逃げますよ。今さら被害者ぶる方がよほど卑劣です。
お前な。
みんな言ってますよ。滝川吉野さえいなければ不破真宙はとっくに殺されてるか警察に捕まってるのにって。あなたが悪いんです。すべてはあなたの罪。
Number 3, Zetsuen no Tempest, aka Shakespeare the Anime. The story is about Yoshino, a normal dude that's secretly dating his best friend's sister, Aika. One day she's murdered and his friend Mahiro disappears, determined to find his sister's killer. A month goes by and Mahiro comes back and saves Yoshino from a girl with a gun to his head. Yoshino learns that his friend is helping a girl named Hakaze in order to help save the world in exchange for helping to find Aika's killer. Really bad summary, I apologize, but there's more twists and turns in this show than a Shyamalan Ding Dong movie. It has a lot of homages to Shakespeare's Hamlet and The Tempest, and takes a lot of inspiration from that. And it's a great show. The magic system is a bit different than most, since the main characters are just normal people. They have to utilize talismans given them by Hakaze in order to use the magic. But even then, they really only have speed and defensive spells. Even the spells that the actual mages use are generally just defensive. They're making force fields, healing, flying, etc. With the exception of the Mage of Exodus, who has offensive capabilities.
だが サム
アリババ、どういうことだ。いや、
これはどうして男の人
Number 2, the Magi series. Mainly Labyrinth of Magic and the Kingdom of Magic, but Sinbad no Boken is pretty good too. It's a prequel that details the early days of one of the main side characters, Sinbad. But for this, we'll be focusing on the first two. Magi is about Aladdin, a young mage that wants to explore the world after finally leaving his home for the first time. He meets Alibaba and helps him conquer the nearby dungeon, a mysterious structure full of danger and treasure. People that conquer these dungeons are given Jinn vessels, which are magic items that grant the user immense power. And there's some other world-saving stuff. Honestly, you've probably heard of this show. It's awesome, full of action, adventure, and some pretty good comedy. The characters are all great. The story is pretty cool, lots of different players. The setting is fantastic, with a wide assortment of cultures that take after real-world places like China and the Middle East. And overall, great show. It's number 2. Depending on the next one, it might be your number 1. So watch it.
バイネルガネッタ Always featured in Sorcerer
I guess all this wizarding talk must sound like a bunch of gibberish to you, huh? But I'm telling you, I'm definitely...
Number 1, Fairy Tail. Oh my god, who couldn't have seen this coming? Sarcasm. Fairy Tail is about Lucy, a celestial wizard who dreams of joining Fairy Tail, the top-ranking guild in the country. One day she meets Natsu, who is a member of Fairy Tail, and she joins. The pair, with Natsu's flying cat, Happy, and fellow mages Urza and Greg, go on adventures and do magic-y things. It's a long-running shonen, currently at 277 episodes, and most likely, more coming in the next year or so. It has a lot of plot armor, and a lot of Nakama power, so if you hate shows like that, then Magi is probably your number 1. If not, this is a solid show. When I first started watching, I didn't really like it. I hated how useless Lucy was. I hated the story arcs, and I begrudgingly watched up to the Thunder Palace arc before finally dropping it. Then I picked it back up again, and now I've rewatched it 2 more times, and I'm a real fan. Even the first couple arcs that I hated at first, while still not the best, are still pretty good, and it gets better with every arc. The last arc that was aired gives the show a much darker tone, and the next big arc, from what I know, will be badass. I'm looking so forward to it. The show is pretty much the embodiment of an action magic anime. Everyone uses magic, and magic is part of everyday life, from travel to games to combat. It's basically a show that you either love or you'll hate. And there you have it, my top 10 action/magic anime. Let me know if you agree, disagree, maybe leave your list in the comments down below. And I didn't get to mention it in the last entry, but yes, I do like Fairy Tail dubbed. It's one of the few shows that I actually watch dubbed. But that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video whenever that comes out. Bye!